What's up YouTube, it's TCG here and welcome to our tournament report. This is the fourth one this season. It's a fourth league challenge. As you know, my regionals are coming up at the end of October and the beginning of November. So it was one of my last league challenges before a big tournament. So I actually decided to run the exact same deck like before. We had the Lucario Landers deck, and instead of running the Dene, I actually played for like 4 Lucario. So it's basically the exact same list. The things you should notice here, I'm just gonna go through them. They're still, randomized like this. We have 2 Seismitoads in here as well, a Max Potion, some Ends here, Mewtwo, 2 of those. These are really common handy in the tournament. Verbank City, I run the mix just like before, of 1 Verbank and 1 Fighting Stadium, then 2 Landers, the usual stuff. I'm not gonna go through everything. I actually decided to go for Computer Search. This is a really consistent card, and drop the Rock Guard. That was just for fun. So now 3 Lucarios are in here instead of. I also dropped the Dene. I'm not playing any tech card because in the tournaments I'm going through, I'm not really expecting a lot of stuff. If I run like the Dene, it would would have become really in handy because I played against a lot of Evil Tolls. But instead of that, I decided to go for more consistency and run 3 Lucarios instead of just running 2 Lucarios and a Dene. So that comes in handy really well. So I'm just gonna place my deck right here. And yeah, we're just gonna go for the first matchup. The first matchup was against Garrett. You might know them because I actually played against them before. And yeah, it was in one of those tournaments in Holland. I don't remember which one it was quite exactly. I think it was my second league challenge. And actually, he beat me before in a really close game where I decked out. But this time around, I played against him and he was playing again his Landers, Lucario, Seismitoad deck. I actually struggled to set up in that game, and he had a second turn Seismitoad. So you know what Seismitoad does, it blocks the items. But yeah, it wasn't a really great time. He kept using Quaking Punch, and I wasn't able to set up. I had like 2 Karinas in my hand as well as some Ultra Ball and Hypnotoxic Laser. So I couldn't get it. The only thing I could get out was basic Pokemon. So he took 6 prizes really fast because I wasn't in item block. And actually, Karina is really useful and not really useful. I mean, is useless in situations where you have an item block because Karina searches out item cards and you can just get out a basic Pokemon. That's fine, but you can't use any items. So that was pretty much the first match. I got really locked down from turn 1, and I didn't had any energies on my first turn as well, so I had to wait for turn 3 to attack. So by then he actually did some damage, and he also got rid of my Landorus. So yeah. That was a really terrible game, and I was kind of sad that it was the first match ended that way. I really wanted to have like a close game, but yeah, if you get item blocked, you don't get stuff out that quickly. So yeah, besides that, I went to the second round. I had some positive energy on my side, so I wanted to test out my deck since it was quite consistent, but against item block I struggled quite a bit since second turn. Usually I want to just have my Lucario, use some attacks, and then with Corkscrew Smash I can get some stuff out since it's also quite consistent like that. The next match was against an Evil Toll Garbodor deck. As you can see here, we have the Evil Toll EX and Garbodor playing together like that. Evil Toll still a great card. So in that matchup, it was one of the most epic and closest matches I ever played. He was playing an Evil Toll Garbodor deck, as I said, and it went down to the last prizes in this matchup. I only had to pick like 3 more prizes, but I attacked actually. The tactic of me was using the Landorus. So let's just get out Landorus. It's not Mewtwo here. Yeah, there we go. I was playing my Landers and I was thinking like I damaged a lot of Pokemon, and there was a Pokemon that only had like 30 damage on it. So with that, I think like I had to knock out an EX and snipe that one as well. So he actually benches a Jirachi. He got End and he didn't got anything, but he got the Jirachi and he benches it. But then he searches his deck and I'm like saying, oh, I have Garbodor out. So yeah, he couldn't use that. So lucky for us, he had an empty hand. So the only thing he got was a warning, but still he couldn't use Jirachi because this little guy, Garbodor, on my side of the field was out. And with that, I actually managed to get on the turn after that, get out my Landorus EX, snipe that Pokemon and knock out an EX as well. So it was a quite a close game indeed. I got 3 prizes. A sweep like that was really great with Landorus EX. That's why it's still so good. So in that game, thing to notice is that my last 2 prizes were 2 switches. So I actually wasn't that surprised because I couldn't find him anywhere in my deck. And with that, he also got 2 prizes early on since I couldn't retreat my Landorus from poison. So yeah, that's for the second game. I was 1-1. Now to the next match. I was playing Daphne. She was actually a player that played a lot of games before. I faced her in the 2012 era as well, and she was playing actually the exact same deck like me, with the Haluchas in there, with Mewtwo, with Lucario, so it was like the exact same mirror match. She also ran Seismitoad, so it was like crazy like that. So as you can see, it was sort of like this setting up, and at one point we got like a Seismitoad war where my Seismitoad was facing her Seismitoad for 5, I believe it was 4 turns, and after that I actually switched around my Seismitoad by manually retreating. I gave him another energy and retreated like that because I wanted to have the first prizes anyway and actually see attacks first, so I would have been knocked out by Quaking Punch that way. I decided to retreat him manually and go for Hawlucha and attack him with that. Thanks to the strong energy, Hawlucha did a lot of damage and got my 2 prizes like that anyway, and my Seismitoad was safe from a knockout, so that was really neat. She also used the Ace Pack card. So that was the Ace Pack card she was using was a Scoop Up Cyclone, which is something neat to mention. Also, the Quaking Punches are really annoying at the game. I also knocked out a Lucario on her side of the field, so I knocked out a Seismitoad from her, knocked out a Lucario with my Mewtwo, then the Mewtwo war started, she knocked out my Mewtwo, and lucky for me, I ran 2 Mewtwo and knocked out her Mewtwo. So that was the game. I was running at 2 wins and 1 loss so far. So the next game was against Banuk. You might know him because he was playing Genesect Virizion, but yeah, this time around he was focusing on more consistency, and he was playing his Jirachi, and he actually said Jirachi is a really great card, and actually the reason that I don't like Jirachi is that it takes up 2 prizes. It makes your deck really consistent. I am not complaining about that, but the downside is that it's an EX and I can get catched out really well. So we battled, he got 2 Genesects out on turn 1. That wasn't really great. He had a really slow start. He couldn't get out Virizion that fast, and yeah, I can start the match as well. So things weren't going great for him. It was a really great game. However, he actually got his G booster out and was able to knock out my Landorus Yax in 1 shot, even though I max potioned it, so that was a neat thing to mention. He also played, let's see here, what else was he playing? He was running the Mr. Mime to prevent his Jirachi from being sniped. So I actually sniped the Jirachi, I believe twice, or Jirachi was almost knocked out. It was something like that. And his Mr. Mime was actually blocking the damage to prevent Jirachi from being knocked out. So at one point I decided at the end of the game I only had to pick, like, I believe 2 more prizes, which was his Jirachi was ideal. So I have my Garbodor out, and he still actually used Starling Megaphone at one point. So I believe, I could be wrong though, but yeah, my Garbodor didn't have a tool card attached. So the thing I did actually is attaching a Muscle Band at the end of the game to actually get the Garbotoxing up and actually knock out the Jirachi, because the ability from Mr. Mime was cancelled out like that. So that was my strategy to win. So Manuk, a really great player, but he had a terrible setup, and that was the reason I actually won that match. Okay, now to the final match of the day. I was running at 3 wins and 1 loss so far. So I won against Samuel, then I also won against Daphne, and then I won against Manuk. The only loss I had so far was against Garrett, where I didn't get anything out because yeah, his Seismitoad start was just so powerful. Okay, now to the final match of the day. I was playing, actually, the thing you should notice before I'm going to the final match is that Samuel, actually, let's say Garrett, the first player I faced, is standing at the first from Belgium, so he's ranked first at Belgium for the championship points, so he was a really experienced player. That's why I also lost. It was a really consistent deck. Next player was Samuel. He actually went to Worlds twice, so really great players all around this weekend. So I also played Daphne. She didn't, I don't know if she went to Worlds already, but she played a lot throughout 2 years. So, and then we had Manuk. He actually did really well at last year's Nationals. So now to the final match of the day, we faced Jeroen. He is actually, he went to Nationals, yeah, he's the national champ of Belgium for 5 times already. So he actually won Nationals 5 times. I believe it was 5 times in a row, but he actually did really well all around. So he was playing, what a surprise, Yveltal Garbodor. So that was actually really popular nowadays. I guess people watch the American regionals, tournaments and stuff. So he was playing this deck again. And yeah, that was a really close game as well. So we went down to the last the last prize cards. He actually played his deck really well. He got out a Seismitoad somewhere in the mid game, and it was really great because he slowed down my setup in the late game. And also, I thought I had this match in the back. I only had to take one prize card, and I had the stuff I needed to knock him out. I needed 1 extra turn, but then it was his turn, and he showed me the Light Center, and I know it was GG because yeah, my Lucario, where is the bad boy here? My Lucario was actually, he already had some damage, so with Light Center he could have knocked this guy out. So that was the game. It was really great playing against top competitive players like that, and actually The last match was at the top table, so the number 1 table. It was great to sit there once again. So it was in Ghent, by the way. It was last time I went to Ghent, I won the entire tournament without a loss. So it was great going to there once again. And yeah. The other decks, you want to know what other decks are being played. I also are going to get one of those cards. Like, it's not going to be the Soul Rock, but it's going to be another card. And yeah, I actually gonna get the 4th place. I got 4th place in that tournament. So actually, my brother also went to the tournament, and he was playing an Evil Tall Garbodor deck as well, and he became first at his division. He is in the senior division, by the way. So just to get that out there. Another thing I did in the tournament was trade for another EX. We have Zapdos EX. I was still missing that Zapdos EX. It took me quite a while to get one of those. I actually traded it for Max Potion. So Max Potion is actually a really expensive card at the moment. So that way I could have traded for the Zapdos. So this makes my Zapdos EX collection a bit bigger. So we have the 4 Zapdos EXs actually have a print. And yeah, that's it for the tournament report. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Also, the reason that I didn't upload on Sunday is that I went to FACT, which was a game slash anime convention. That way I couldn't upload a video. So sorry for that, guys, but it was really great. If you go to FACT next year, it's one of the biggest anime and game conventions in Europe. So go to there. And I'll see you guys maybe next time or next year. And also, if you're from Europe, you definitely want to go to the ECC since I'll be there. So that is for another video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please click that like button because you know I always appreciate it. And I'll be seeing you guys next time. Peace.